What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. On this channel, I go over key levels and catalysts that I'm focusing on, along with a watch list of stock tickers that I may trade. Now in this video, I'll be going over my watch list for the trading week of June 26, 2023. Let's get to it. Alright, first up, the catalyst. On Tuesday, we get the latest home price index numbers along with the new home sales figures. On Thursday, we get the jobless claim numbers, and on Friday, we get the personal consumption expenditure or PCE price index. Now, the PCE price index is the Fed preferred inflation gauge as it tracks consumer spending decisions more closely than the consumer price index or CPI. Now, while the CPI uses a fixed basket of goods and services, the components of the PCE price index are updated more frequently to reflect changes in consumer tastes and preferences. And lastly, we have Fed officials speaking on Wednesday and Thursday. Let's take a look at this week's earnings calendar. Alright, so here are the companies that are reporting this week, and I'll be keeping my eye on Walgreens, General Mills, Micron, and Nike. Let's get started with the watch list. Alright, first up is Nike, ticker symbol NKE, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly time frame. Now the company reports earnings after the market closes on Thursday, and right now the stock is sitting around 109.50. Now Nike has been working its way through some high inventory levels, but in March Nike told investors that it believed it had turned the corner on that. Well, this past Tuesday, Morgan Stanley indicated that Nike may still have some inventory issues, citing that the demand had slowed in Europe. Now the analysts also mixed in that Q4 looks good, but we could see some possible lower guidance from Nike. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the levels that I'm watching. Now, like I said, we're sitting around 109.50. In order for me to consider it bullish, it has to get above 112. If it does, the first level I'm looking for to test is going to be around 121. If it gets above that, 131.50. Now on the bearish side, if Nike cannot get above 112, the first level I'm looking for to test is going to be around 103.50. If it can't hold that, $99. If it can't hold that, 90, and then 82. So keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. Up next is Meta Platforms, ticker symbol META, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly time frame. Now Meta's been on my watch list for quite a few weeks now, ever since it got within this gap between 248 and 317. And last week it did a nice job coming up and testing this 289 level. It didn't get rejected, but we're sitting just below it at 289.75. Now in order for me to consider it bullish, it has to get above this 289 level. And if it does, I'm looking forward to continue to try to close this gap all the way up to $317. Now on the bearish side, if Meta cannot get above 289, I'm looking forward to drop all the way down to around 265. So keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. Up next is Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly time frame. Now the company recently announced that their latest Prime Day is going to be in a little over 2 weeks on July 11th and 12th. And if the things play out like they did last year, I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon have a very bullish July. So let me explain. Now where this white arrow is right here, this is the week of Prime. And then 2 weeks later, they had their earnings. Now the same thing is playing out this year. They announced their Prime Day. 2 weeks later, they're going to have their earnings. Now, if we look what happened last year, this is the week of Prime, the week after Prime, the week of their earnings, and then 2 weeks after that, it continued to run up. Now, if we do the same exact thing, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon has a very bullish July. Now, with that said, with the stock sitting at $129.30, in order for me to consider it bullish, it has to get above $130.50. If it does, the first level I'm looking for to test is going to be 136.50. If it gets above that, 146.50. If it gets above that, $159. Now on the bearish side, if Amazon cannot get above $130.50, I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to around $115. So keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. Up next is Airbnb, ticker symbol ABNB, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly time frame. Now the last time we talked about this one, it was during their earnings and the $130 level. I was having a hard time getting above it. And you can see, even in the last 2 weeks, it was rejected twice at $130. Now with the stock sitting around $124.75, in order for me to consider it bullish, it has to get above $125. And if it does, the first level I'm looking for to test is that $130 level once again. Now, without any super bullish news, I'd be very careful around here, all right? But if by chance it does get above 130, the next level above that is going to be around 142. Now, on the bearish side, if Airbnb cannot get above 125, I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to around 118.50, all right? So keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. And lastly, we're going to go over one of our longer term plays, Dollar General, ticker symbol DG, and here I have it pulled up on the weekly time frame. Now, if you've been following along with us, the levels we were watching was 152, 167, and 173. Now, this past week, Dollar General blew through 167, but it ran out of steam when it got close to 173. Now, with the stock sitting around 171.15, in order for me to consider it bullish, it has to get above $173. Now, ideally, I'd like to see it break above, come back down and test 173 before continuing upward. That's called a break and retest. Now, if it does that, the first level I'm looking for it to test is going to be around $195. Now, on the bearish side, if Dollar General cannot get above 173, I'm looking for it to test 167. Ideally, I like to see it to consolidate and chop around in this area for the entire week. So keep these levels on your watch list and let's see what happens. And that is the end of the video. If you found value, smash that like button and please consider subscribing to the channel. I set up a website at blazestocks.com where I post my videos, screenshots of stocks that didn't make the video, along with personal finance articles. So check it out when you get a chance. Also, if you're looking to get started with investing, check out the pinned comment in this video for a link to Webull, where you can get up to 12 free stocks for signing up and depositing just 1 penny. Now here's wishing you a prosperous week of trading, and until next week, talk to you later.